and welcome back to Delicado. I'm Ben Moechtar, and this week we're looking at a thing called natural wine. Now, if you go to Paris or New York, you might find, if you know the right people, what are called natural wine bars. They're the hippest, trendiest sort of wine bars to visit at the moment. But if you don't, if you're not lucky enough to get to Paris or New York, then maybe the only thing you can do is try a natural wine here. What is a natural wine? Well, it's basically taking wine back to its roots. Think about all the sort of preservatives that are in wine. If you took those out, what are you left with? Well, you're left with fermented grape juice that can very easily spoil. So there's a whole wave of new winemakers who are just taking a step back. They don't want to add yeast, they don't want to add acid or tannin or do anything to the wine to make it what they call unnatural. So when it comes to bottling, instead of adding sulfur, which you normally do to preserve a wine, and even soft drinks usually have, and fresh fruit juices usually have some sort of additive to stop it oxidizing or spoiling. In this case, they haven't chosen to use any sulfur. So what are you left with? Well, in this case, we're left with what's called a winter blend. There's a small group in the Adelaide Hills in South Australia who banded together and said, okay, each season we're going to make a wine, and we're going to serve it in big glass demijohns with a little tap made of cherry wood, and we're going to send these wines out to restaurants and bars around Sydney, and we're going to allow sommeliers to pour these wines. They don't have a long lifespan. Don't expect to cellar these wines, but basically enjoy them fresh and young. In this case, this winter blend has a whole hodgepodge of grape varieties in there. There's some Portuguese grape varieties. There's of course things like Shiraz. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some white varieties in there as well. On the palate, there's something quite textural about this wine. It almost has a spritz to it, or like a little bit of dissolved gas. It's like it's still alive, and that's something that's very interesting about these wines. And when you try a few of them, you notice that they all share a similar vein. They're, as I said, not designed to last long, so enjoy them by the glass. If you do manage to grab a bottle of it, you've pretty much got to consume it that night. But if you have headaches or you get any sort of adverse reactions to wine, maybe it's worth trying a natural wine. Salut.